What's up, YouTube? So I had to like challenge myself and also learn something over this Volkswagen dealership guy at the on a three-way phone call. So let me bring up the speed. A vendor of mine had a problem with a Volkswagen. The customer was at the dealership. They kept resetting the light, and she kept getting a CAT efficiency code. And then they were like, "Oh, you have to buy a factory CAT and all this other bullshit." But there's nothing else wrong with the car. So then I challenged the guy and said to him, at 150,000 miles, this Volkswagen, 2012 Volkswagen Jetta 2.5, requires absolutely no maintenance. There's nothing wrong with this car, just the catalytic converter. And the catalytic converter code can be triggered by something else. He goes, well, there's no other lights. That doesn't mean anything. You guys are the experts. You should know. I said, so the car doesn't need nothing, right? Fuel injection, throttle body, PCV maintenance, carbon service, nothing. No, just a catalytic converter. I said, at 150,000 miles. He said, yeah, that's correct. So anyway, I went into Volkswagen services, 2012 Volkswagen Jetta services defined, and it goes in miles, right? 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, and then tells you what to do. So I'm just gonna go at 40,000 miles, and then we're gonna scroll down to spark plug. Spark plug, and then follow spark plug all the way over. What does that say right there? Replace at 40,000 miles. So at 150,000 miles, it should be due for spark plugs yet again, right? And some other type of maintenance. So it's clear that this guy on the other end of the phone truly didn't look at this lady's car, or his technician didn't. I don't really know the case. But 40,000 miles, Volkswagen Jetta 2012, required by Volkswagen to have your spark plugs changed every 40,000 miles. So let's just go into here. So she's at the 160. And all data is not very diverse, current for their information. I just wanted to see.
Oh, look, 150,000 miles.
Yeah, but it doesn't say much. Brake fluid. Okay, so yes, Mr. Volkswagen guy, brake fluid's required for replacement. I mean, they're there looking at the car. Engine oil replaced, correct. Engine oil refill, yes. But I just want to go back a little bit. Let's go back to 120,000. Let's just see something. So here you go. At 120,000 miles, right? Spark plugs replaced. 120,000 miles. So I don't know why this dealership guy said that this car doesn't need nothing but a catalytic converter. And that's what pisses me off. And a lot of dealerships are like that. Oh, the check engine light's on. It just needs a cat. And then what do? We pull the engine oil dipstick as soon as they leave the dealership. There's no fucking oil in the engine, right? And there's no oil leaks. Where do 3-4 quarts of oil go? Right through the catalytic converter.
And you wonder why it needs a cat.
Right. What do the combustion chambers look like? What do the intake valves look like? What do the spark plugs look like? Stop.
Or they'll diagnose it and charge you an arm and a leg for something.
Or actually, we had a lady who had a similar situation. They charged her $1,500 for nothing, and she was here 40 miles later missing 2 more quarts of oil.
I remember that.
2 more quarts of oil. So stop telling people it's just a catalytic converter. You're misleading your customer. If the car had 30,000 miles on it, right? Here you go. Volkswagen Jetta. 30,000 miles. If it had an efficiency code, they would replace the catalytic converter for free. Then they would replace it again if it had another efficiency code until they say, oh, something else is wrong. Maybe the thermostat is bad and it hasn't coded yet. Or, boy, we should tell our customer, hey, every 40,000 miles you need spark plugs, right? Yeah. We can't get cars today, average in our shop with 100,000 miles, to not be in here with an efficiency code. And why? Because they're burning 2-3 quarts of oil every oil change.
Well, also nobody ever takes care of it.
No one's doing a fuel injection service. No one's doing the maintenance work.
Exactly.
But then when it comes in here for us to do the converter, which is the tell-all of all health of an engine, right? The catalytic converter tells you everything that's going on in that engine. But then they put it back on you because I'm going to say we're the heart doctor, right? We're saying, the converter's saying the engine's got a problem. Well, my dealership didn't say that. Well, they're not God.
No, half the time they don't check it.
They're not. They're throwing a cat on it and hoping that it doesn't come back.
Exactly. And even then.
And then they stop telling their customers and checking their oil for oil consumption, where they'd have to tell every customer they need a new engine. So that's a new one that I heard.
I mean, hell, look at our cars. Your cars have 200,000+ miles, 300,000+ miles. Yeah, the Jeep still has 70, but I've had that for 3-4 years. Caleb's Tahoe or Suburban has 200,000 miles.
Yeah, but we take care of our
Take care
cars.
of our shit.
Yep.
It's like it's not even that hard either. Spark plugs are what, $9 a piece?
But the point of this is, the dealership guy, again, lied to me about it required a tailpipe test when I challenged him. I said, who does a tailpipe test here? And he said, Philadelphia. I said, no, Philadelphia does not. They do an OBD2 test. And then finally he choked that one down and said I was right. Right? And then he said, it just needs a cat. And then I said, well, does the car require any maintenance at 150,000 miles? And he said, no. He's a liar because the Volkswagen service table says it's due for maintenance.
Exactly. That's not even...
He can't argue that. You can't argue that. If you have a Volkswagen Jetta 2012, every 40,000 miles, you need spark plugs based on their service intervals.
It's not the worst thing in the world either to do.
No, but for him to say it doesn't need any maintenance, dude, you need to polish up on your shit.
It goes back to if you had one car the rest of your life, you would take care of it and you would be here every 3,000 miles.
Oh, yeah.
Getting an oil change.
Yep.
You'd be here every 40,000 miles. To
Yeah,
get spark
and he said he was a 40-year guy at Volkswagen.
What a
All right, thanks, guys.